Hey, I'm live. I love this. It kind of freaks me out each time it happens. But that's right. I remembered each time I start, while you guys are coming in, I'm going to read some more of my suppressive person declare. So I think we are at, yeah, we're after the first paragraph. So I'm going to go into the second paragraph. Tori has accepted money, false, support and encouragement from these squirrels and SPs and has participated with them in anti Scientology acts, which I guess you could say that's true in that, we're against the abuses of the Church of Scientology. Um, Calculated to harm Scientology. Not really. We've calculated to expose. Hey, hi, SPTV warrior. They're actually. I'm reading a little bit of my SP declare while we wait for anybody to come on. So thank you for coming on. Thank you, love it. Okay, so it says I've accepted money, support, and encouragement from these squirrels and SPs and has participated with them in an anti-Scientology acts calculated to harm Scientology and Scientologists despite attempts by well-intentioned Scientologists to assist her to come to her senses. I mean, that's so pathetic. It's like nobody, they actually have tech, like this much tech that you're supposed to do before you declare someone suppressive. You're supposed to do all kinds of things. Hear my side. You know what I mean? Get me to look at different things. They did none of that. None of that. They flew in my husband who said, we need to go on a vacation. And I'm like, yeah, that works. I'm escaping out of a cult and we need to go on a vacation. No. So that was first. And then the second one, thank you, Marty. Thank you, Chester Cat. I love you guys. I'm happy you're here. And in Swedish, Lina. Anyway, good afternoon from Austria. Austria. Ooh, I love that. Austria. That's very cool. Anyway, I was reading this about my SP declare, but you guys are on, so what the hell? But that's enough of it. But it is kind of, let me just finish the thing. Tories accepted money, support, and encouragement. That's false. From these squirrels and SPs and has participated with them in an Anyway, I read that. Okay, so she's publicly disavowed Scientology by her own acts and may not receive the benefits of the codes of the church. Thank God. Thank God. They don't have any fucking benefits. Their benefits are, basically designed to keep you in this Scientology Truman Show. So Cincinnati Diane, hi everyone, long time lurker, first time chatting. Hey, congratulations. I'm glad you're chatting. Welcome. And welcome to everyone. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's Midnight with Magoo. And that's good. I got my nails done today. See, they're a little bit different. They were pink before, but now they're a different. Now they're sort of like for Easter. I got them. See, they go with this. Huh? They're pretty. Anyway, so tonight I'm going to talk about Scientology public versus the Sea Org. What's the difference? Now, a lot of people, first of all, I joined as a public. Yes, the biggest win for me was leaving, absolutely. But I joined as a public. Thank you for Cloud Surfer for acknowledging my nails. I came as a public. In 71, I think I joined the Sea Org at ASHO. And then I was, of course, routed out because of epilepsy and needing my medicine, which I've told you guys. I hate that they can say what they want and nothing happens to them. Oh, I wouldn't say that nothing happens to them. If you go look in any of their organizations, they're empty. There's like 3 people in them. We drove from the top, from I think Seattle, all the way down to San Diego, going in different orgs. And they're basically empty. There's very few people. I mean, there's 3 people, but that is not an org. You know what I mean? It's like they're not surviving. So, oops, Tori. Okay, purple groovy. That's right. Okay, I don't know what the oops Tori is. Kenya 75. Where you left off, you were routed out. Thank you, because of epilepsy. That's right. So I'm routed out, and now I'm back being a public. right? So I was Sea Org for just a little bit of time. And the Sea Org, as far in my mind, we were out on a ship in LA Harbor doing ship training. And I mean, we were all kids. We were like in our 20s and early 20s. And I'll tell you a little story about the Sea Org. Someone during the middle of the night, the oil had leaked out of the ship. So now the Coast Guard comes up and they go, okay, well, you have to either, did I tell you this story? You have to get all of this oil up by 4 o'clock or it'll be, I don't know, $100,000. It was some enormous amount of money. And they drove off and we're like, oh God, we're going to get killed by Hubbard, right? This is in 1971. So then we have a meeting, and this guy was a farmer. And he said, if we can get hay, we can roll around and spread the hay around. It'll soak up the oil. We can put it on the ship. We'll be okay. So that's what we did. I don't even know where we got the hay, but we did. We got the boats and we got the hay and we rode around and we spread out the hay and it soaked up the oil and we put it all on the ship. And there you go. That was my one recall of the ship, aside from me having to get off of my medicine and them routing me out. So the Sea Org is a whole thing. I mean, you can watch Leah Remini's shows, and most of that is interviewing young people who grew up in Scientology. Many of their people were, okay, now wait, Onyx, no, you shouldn't be blocked. I have nothing but nice to you. I agree, you have. So I have to make sure that that doesn't happen, because let me just write down your name, because I'm glad you got unblocked, because you shouldn't be blocked and I don't want you blocked. Okay. And someone else called me that was blocked, but I think his is a different thing. But anyway, I'll check with her afterwards. But thank you for letting me know that. And thank you, Chi, for letting me know about the BC thing and epilepsy. Okay, so anyway, now I'm out of the Sea Org and now I'm public. Okay, so what did the public do? Because many people, many of the interviews, many of the people that talk about it are ex-Sea Org. Chris Shelton was in the Sea Org. Aaron grew up in the Sea Org. The Headleys were in the Sea Org. It's just like a lot of people that speak out. Karen was in the Sea Org. They were all Sea Org people. But I want people to understand there's the Sea Org and there's public. And really, it's like the Sea Org, it's a small group of people, and a large group of people are just public. Okay, so what did the public do? What's the difference? Well, first of all, we live in houses. This is my home. And each public they live in their own home, whereas Sea Org live in Sea Org birthing. They work 24/7. They eat their food, and that's it. Their whole life is the Scientology Sea Org. Whereas public, it depends on the person. Like I was kind of a true believer, so I did a lot of volunteer work for them. So it felt sort of like, thank you. I'm glad that Elizabeth, that you like my necklace. Thank you. But it felt sort of like I was kind of Sea Org, even though not really, because I was routed out of it. But I was always doing stuff along that line. But most public, they pay for courses or they pay for auditing, and then they work the rest of the time. We all have jobs. You have to keep working because you have to keep making money, because you have to keep paying for the courses. So that's how it is. So the public generally in the day, they're at their jobs in the day, which is not Scientology jobs. Well, some of them have Scientology companies, so that's a different thing. But anyway, that's a different thing, and it's still work. They go 9 to 5, around there. And then most of them, a lot of them are on course, or at least in the old days, most of us are on course at night. So we would work in the day, be on course at night. And in between, then you start having kids. So then you've got kids, a family, and course, and work. And then, of course, Hubbard died, Miscavige takes over, and he had the whole IAS nightmare where he's constantly milking people for more money. And they're having these secret briefings where you have to come, and this is for public. And it's like, Tori, you have to be to this meeting. And I'd be like, okay. Then I'd go and, you'd get inside the meeting and it'd be like 10 people, right? And someone would be saying, this is a top secret briefing. You can't tell anybody about it. And you're right away, you're like, okay, it's another weirdo Scientology thing, right? because they just felt so weird, right? Why does it have to be top secret? Okay. And then, of course, it was like, no one is leaving this room without paying $2,000. And this was $2,000 is a lot of money to just write out a check for 2,000 bucks. And so I was kind of like, hi, Michelle. She just came in. I'm like, no, I'm not paying 2,000 bucks. So the next time they said, it's a mandatory meeting, you have to come, Tori. And this was my friend who was a public also. And I said, Vicky, listen to me very carefully. No, I'm not going. Or the first time I said, okay, I'll go only if you promise me that this isn't going to be another red cycle. If it's another red cycle, I'm out. And she'd say, no, it's not. And this is a good friend of mine. And I get in the meeting and some guy, whoever's running it, goes, okay, so everybody in here, just so you know, is going to write a check for $2,000. And I look at Vicky like, you just promised me that wasn't going to happen. And I was really pissed. So then from then on, I just wouldn't go. I was just like, no, or I'd just walk out. As soon as they started talking money, I'd walk out. It was just like, no, you can't make me give you money, and I'm not giving you money. So it's tricky for the public because it's different than the Sea Org. The Sea Org, they have their jobs and they have to keep their stats, and they have to turn them in every Thursday after 2:00. And, their stats end at Thursday at 2. So right before Thursday at 2, everybody's like furiously trying to get their statistics up, because if their statistics are up in the Sea Org, they have Saturday libs, which means they're liberty. They can do whatever they want. So they kind of have Friday night to hang out a bit. And then Saturday, they have libs, just the first half of the day. But that's only if their statistics are up. If they're down, they don't have libs. That's it. Whereas the public, it's your life. You know what I mean? It's whatever you want to do, however you want it to be. Some people are like, I'm on course all the time. I go to Scientology every day, and you're like, okay, good luck. It's like, it wasn't really my ex-husband or I was much more of a true believer than he was, but I did get trained, and, I got trained, and once I was trained, I started auditing people, and soon realized nobody's going to pay for it. This isn't a career. It's not going to work, right? So then I started doing sales because I had to make some money because I had to pay for all the courses. So I started doing, this is really funny because I was auditing Bob Loney, who's a public now that's on Facebook. And if you see me, Bob, hi, it was very cute. He's in session and he goes, well, I'm making a lot of money. He's drinking this big protein drink. And he goes, I'm making this protein drink, drink it and try it. And this is in, I think, the 70s, I believe. And it was called Slender Now. And so I took a sip. It was okay. I was always trying to lose weight. I wasn't 100 pounds overweight. That happened on OT7. But I was always, overweight somewhat and trying to lose weight. So now he starts Slender. He's in Slender Now. So he goes, well, come to a meeting tonight. And I go, okay. And it turns out it's a multi-level marketing program. Most of you probably know what that is. Late to the live goldenrod girl. Here I am. Well, welcome to any of you that I didn't say welcome to. I'm glad you're here. So where was I? I just forgot where I was. That's the bad thing about it. The multi-level marketing. Thank you, Swedish Lena. Thank you. You're right. So I'm talking about the multi-level. We're trying to make money. I go to the meeting. I think I can do this. It was like brand new. I had never heard of it except for Amway. That was the only other thing I'd ever heard of that was like this. And you had to get so many people in, and then they got people in, and they got people in, and you made money, right? And so I thought, okay, I could do it. So yeah, it's a drink. It was like a weight loss drink. It was the first protein drink that I'd ever heard of. And it was a cinch. I decided, you know what? I'm going to do this, and I'm going to pay for OT3 through this. And I did. I ended up going around and I would do these little surveys and I'd find people that were like a little overweight or sort of overweight or very overweight. And I'd say, I'm doing a survey here in the mall. Could I ask you a question? And they'd say, yeah, sure. What is it? And I'd say, do you know anybody who's overweight? Of course they go, well, me. And I'd say, okay. And I had a couple other questions and and I mentioned something about Slender Now and they'd say, well, I'd like to get the Slender Now. And I'd say, well, I don't really sell it. I just do surveys. But let me take your name and number, and I'll call you tonight. And you can, if you want, you can come to a meeting. We have these meetings that talk about how you can kind of do it and make it's a business and stuff like that. And they'd say, yeah. So then I'd call them. They'd come to the meeting. I'd sign them up. And it truly taught me more than anything. The biggest lesson I learned in this is never, ever judge a book by its cover, ever. Because one of the ladies that made me the most money was an older woman. And she said, well, I'd like to do it. I'd like to do that. And I said, okay. And I signed her up, but I thought, she's not going to make any money. That woman, I made more money with her than anyone ever. I mean, the checks just kept rolling in and they were from her. She worked in a library and she just signed up everybody and people just started making money. It was in the early days of multi-level. Now it's gotten kind of a really bad name, but back then it worked for me. And I was like, okay, it wasn't like now you kind of know it's a triangle thing and the guys that are early in make money, but the other guys kind of don't. The other guy that was in it, interestingly enough, have you ever heard of Herbalife? That guy was in our group with Bob Loney, me, and this guy that started Herbalife. And he said, well, because the company went under. And so he said, well, I'm going to start my own multi-level. And we all started laughing and we said, did I lose weight though? I think a little bit, but it again, diets, like Flora used to say, the first three letters of diet are D-I-E. They really don't work. You lose weight, but then you gain it back. So no, it didn't really work permanently for me, but I made money on it. And that's my main concern right then, back then. So anyway, this lady starts getting a bunch of people in. I start making money. I'm giving it all to Scientology to pay for my OT 1 through 3. And I think I was telling you a funny story and then I got distracted. I think so. Let me think. Does anyone remember what it was? You made more money from the older lady, who signed up the people in the library. She was MLM Gold. That's right. Oh, Herbalife. That's right. Okay, so thank you. Thank you so much. Again, you did it again. Thank you. So he says, I'm going to start my own multi-level marketing company. And we all start laughing at him. And he goes, and we said, well, what are you going to sell? We can't even imagine it, right? And he goes, I'm going to sell herbs. And this was in the 70s, right? So herbs were not like now, herbs are kind of a well thought of thing and people know about them. And it's not, they're in grocery stores and stuff like that. They're all over the place. But back then, I mean, I'd never even heard of herb plants, but not something that you would take to fix things. And he had these little packets of herbs and he'd be out on a street corner going, do you want to buy some herbs? And I had never heard his pitch, but he obviously made a lot of money, he made more millionaires than any other multi-level. That's what I understand, that he made tons and tons of millionaires. And why didn't I go with him? Exactly. But it was just one of those things where, things change and it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. I thought nobody's going to buy herbs. It's not going to happen. It just isn't. And every year he'd make more money. And I think, damn it, I should have gotten in it when he started. And then, now every time I drive by this giant building with this Herbalife on the top, I think, damn it, that's one thing. I don't really regret things. I don't believe in regret, but it does make me think I should have joined that one. I should have. All right. Anyway, this is a senior squirrel. Love your late night chats. Okay, wait a second. Love your late night chats. I'm 69 and have a blood clotting disorder that gives me insomnia. And I rely on these late night chats to fill the hours until I can. Aw. Well, that's nice. And there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that you can watch. There's all kinds of cool stuff. So that's good. That's good. I'm glad you found us. I'm glad you're here. All right. So hello from South Korea. Wow, that's impressive. I've even seen Herbalife over here. Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? And I could have been one of the founding people if I'd done it, but I didn't. There you go. All right, now what does this say? Oh, okay, we just talked to her. I think this is the one I was saying. Oh, no, that's the same lady. Okay. I'm glad you found us. All right. So where was I? Okay, so anyway, we're making money. We're trying to make money, and that's a big part of public's life is making money, how to make money, different multi levels. I mean, we were in every multi level you can think of. As soon as we come around, we were part of it. I mean, I'll never forget this guy at Flag married the head of uh, blue green algae. That was the name of it. It was some kind of, again, health drink that you would take that was blue green, super blue green algae. And that guy in Scientology married the top producer in super blue green algae. And I thought, leave it to Scientologists, boy, they will snag them up. That's their thing. They got to make money. They got to be with the top guys. I dressed as Tommy Chong. What is this? What is this? I can imagine Tori dressed as Tommy Chung selling people herbs. No, I never sold herbs. That is not true. I didn't. But anyway, so their big thing for public is making money and being on course or getting auditing, one or the other. Like using the lower part of the bridge. Like some people get trained. I've met so many people that never did training, and I could not imagine it because that's why I got in Scientology was to be an auditor and help people. But a lot of people didn't. They just got in. They wanted to get clear and they wanted to get OT. And that was their thing. They really, and I'm going to do another segment on that pretty soon on clear. But it wasn't my big thing. It wasn't a big thing for me, but it was for a lot of people. And Scientology is always there. The Sea Org is always there pushing you. You know, you need to pay for your next thing. You need to pay for your next thing. Even if you have your next thing paid for, well, put it on account. Like I know some people that have over $100,000 on account to this day with Scientology, and they won't give it back. Now that's really creepy. That's like a bank having your savings and then saying, we're not giving it to you. It's like, what? Yeah, it's really creepy, Scientology. I have to tell you. Anyway, so that's a big part of it. That's the difference. The Sea Org is 24/7 working for Scientology and on staff doing different things, all different posts. And then the public are working, making money so they can pay Scientology to do their auditing and training. And often the public now, I mean, I think Sea Org for a long time had kids, but that was a nightmare because they had to work all the time. So the kids really didn't get much attention. But the public kids, we had a lot of fun. I mean, we really had a lot of fun with it. It was really, I loved it. So anyway, it was just cool. And I'm trying to think if there's anything majorly different. I mean, it's sort of like in your day, you know, like on the weekend, we would have parties and get together and stuff like that, you know, all the time. Now, Scientology in between that was, oh, we're having a protest for freedom, you know, and we would go, you know, because we were like, okay, we'll be there, you know, that kind of thing. So you go to different events and stuff like that, but it's not the same as the Sea Org by any means. You know, they don't have nearly the luxury that the public have, but it's odd when you're public, you constantly feel pressured to do the next thing, to hurry up. You know, they keep that speed thing going because I think if you're pushed to hurry, you can't think that much because you've got to get the next thing done. You know what I mean? And it's trickier. I mean, you have your own car. Some Sea Org have cars, but not many. But and they're usually really crummy ones too. And they always have, this is usually the public, but the crummiest cars have the the Scientology logo on them, which we'd always say, why do they do that? It'd be this real dumpy car, and they'd have the Scientology logo on it. It was like, hi, Magoo, and everyone here from Ireland. All right, Danny Clark. Hello. Hello from Ireland, one of my favorite places. All right, here's a question. Are Sea Org members really sometimes done for convenience? Or Sea Org marriage is really done something. PVT room, tired of virginity. Are they ever arranged? Not that I know of as far as arranged, but they're definitely done for convenience, because you can't kiss someone until you're married in the Sea Org. I mean, I think if you hold hands, they send you to ethics. You might be able to hold hands, but you can't kiss. You can't really go to first base, stuff like that. Not in the Sea Org. No, 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 no. So they get married very young. It's definitely a convenience, because young people, they want to have sex, and you can't. Now you're in a billion-year contract, which you didn't really realize. They sort of don't mention that when you sign the contract, that you can't have any sex until you're married. But then you find out, so then people marry all kinds of people very young. Now, a lot of them, I will say, have ended up being successful marriages. Not all of them, but a lot of them, more than you would think. They end up. But then, like Jesse pointed out, a lot of people, because I was really bummed when I got divorced after leaving. And he said, Tori, you have no idea how many people, because I said, I wish Harold left with me. And he goes, a lot of people leave together and a lot of people get divorced. And I said, really? Why? If they left together? And he said, because the only thing they had in common was Scientology. So then they get out and it's like, well, I like you and I like you, but not enough to stay with you. That's what Jesse told me. Anyway, Jesse Prince, you can always look him up on YouTube. He's got some excellent videos too. All right, so I mentioned that question. Let's see, is there a Sea Org rank that does not have insignia? Perhaps some of the staff uniforms without insignia are Sea Org. Is there a Sea Org rank that does not have? You mean the gold things? You're talking about the gold status? Is that what you mean? Or I'm not sure what you mean. They now have them wear phony clothes. I'm going to go pretty soon and see Div 6, and I'll film it, because I want to see what they're doing. I heard they're regging differently at the testing center, and I'm sure they are, because these other guys have nailed them. So they've closed and now they're open again. So I want to see what they're doing. But I noticed that a lot of the Sea Org are not wearing Sea Org uniforms anymore. And that was so, I mean, in the 60s, when I got in 69, I was like, ooh, these guys are in Navy uniforms. What's this all about? And that's always been how people have thought. They it's just been a very, very unusual thing. And so they've now let them wear more civilian clothes, even though they're in the Sea Org, to sort of fit in. You know what I mean? But I don't know how many, but I've noticed more than I thought. We'll see when I go there. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry. Oh, it's a dumb Herbalife joke. All right. Sharon, I have MS. This is Swedish Alina, and use YouTube to fall asleep with. However, it's 5:25 Friday here in Eastern Australia. Take care, my dear. All right, well, you take care. Sleep tight and be well, and be happy you're alive. Because that's what I think for everyone. We're alive. It's another day. All right, this is one. Sorry, it was a dumb Herbalife joke, Tori Magoo. Okay, I missed it. Okay. Purple Groovy. Ah, this is a nice thing she said, to love it. This is nice. Do you know that you're a mod extraordinaire? She is. She really is. That is a good point. Purple Groovy. There you go. All right. And wait, let me just make sure we got this right. Ooh, you were telling us about how the public, you had to go to work and you hated getting regged and having friends betray you by saying it was a shakedown? I was? You were telling us about how, as a public, you had to go to work. Well, of course you have to go to work, and you hated getting regged. Um, I never hated getting regged. I hated getting regged for the IAS. Okay, yes, I did. And that was a shakedown. The IAS is different than regging for the bridge. The bridge was where, you're moving up the bridge, you think, to total freedom, right? You think. And I clarify that with think because it's not really true. But yeah, the IAS thing is just total bullshit. And I thought so from the beginning. It started up in Portland. And this guy had, like a little van, and he'd call people in. I can't remember his name, but the people that know him know, oh yeah, I hated that guy. And he would call you in and say, you have to donate X amount of money. And I was volunteering with Pat Gualtieri, and I was like, pardon me? No, I don't have to donate for anything. And I just walked out. I was just like, no, ain't gonna happen. All right, question. I've always wondered, when someone escapes and OSA chases after them, do they physically grab them and force them to come back? No, not at all. Or is it just verbal persuasion? It's just verbal persuasion. I mean, first of all, most people, and this is my reality. Now, maybe, I don't know, with Mark Headley and the Sea Org guys, they getting chased, that's a different thing. And you'll have to ask them because I don't know. But I know that for me, and I'm pretty sure even for the Headleys, they don't physically grab you because that's against the law. And they'd be in really deep trouble if they did that. So, but most people, they don't, they don't at all. They only did me because the only reason they came after me was because I knew the top secret mafia stuff, and they knew I knew it, and they didn't want me to tell anybody. And frankly, I wasn't going to tell anybody, and no one would have ever known, except they kept doing all the shit that they did. And I finally went, you know what? I have a voice too. And there you go. That's what happened. But it was really because, and I told them that when I was in, I said, you're creating your own enemies by doing this kind of shit. And boy, was I right. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see if there's any questions. Okay. Thank you for reminding me of that. Miss Tori, did you ever work with Rosemary Brown? I did not. Mike Brown's mother. No, I didn't. Not that I know of. I'm very bad with names, as I've said. So, okay, this is kind of funny. I don't mind it. You're shaking with laughter as you are asking a fatty if they know each other's. I know. It is a little offensive, and I can see where people, especially now with politically correct and all this other shit, but back then it was a different time, and it was. I was thinking of getting him into a business and maybe helping him lose weight. That was really it. I wanted to. So it was like, it was worth it for me to step over a boundary and ask them those questions. And back then, people didn't mind. I mean, maybe they did, but they never said it to me. They never said it in their face. They never acted that way. Except, I'll tell you one thing where they did. Well, they didn't, but it really spooked us out. Because after a while, you kind of we were in the mall and different things. And, this friend and I were trying to sell them. And we said, well, where else could we sell them? Let's see. And we thought, topless dancers, strippers and stuff, they got to stay in shape. Let's try that. And I've been in some very, very wild things. So don't think, oh, little me, I'm new to this. No, that wasn't it. It was just, this was so freaky. And we kind of knock on the door of, I forget, one of these things. It was some strip joint. And we knock on the door, and it kind of creaks open. And we look inside, and there's all this red velvet, right? And this girl kind of peeps out, and she goes, "Yes." And we both were, never mind. We ran away. We were like little kids, it was just like, never mind, never mind. She was too scary. It was too weird. Anyway. You're so cute. How can anyone say no to you? That's right. I was always good at sales, but it wasn't because I was cute. It was just, I know how to communicate with people, and I know how to help. I only sold things I believed in. And my mother-in-law used to say, you could sell sand to somebody in the desert. And I can, if I really believe it. I can. And I don't sell things I don't believe in. I never have. I'm just like, no, I don't really believe in that. I'm not going to do it. You're so good to our lovely lady Tori. Oh, she is. That's right. She is. She is very, very kind, and she's very good. Okay, now here's Love It. I've been speaking for 24 years, true, helping people escape and not get in for free. Her PayPal is paypal.me. Anyway, the links are on there under Tori Crispin for more information. Those links are there. And if you want to donate, I love it. I mean, it's wonderful that some people have been very, very generous. I mean, it's stunning to me. It really is. I mean, after 24 years of doing it for free, it's like, oh my God. It really, thank you. Thank you to everyone. It really makes a difference. Like I always say, every voice counts. And I mean that. Okay, so now let me go to the new comments, because she said to click those. Okay, comment. Okay, this is a comment. I went back and watched your video called Dancing in Boston. It's Magoo Dancing. Yeah, Magoo Dancing in Boston. And loved listening to you argue with the Scientologist. You were so well spoken and composed. It's a little embarrassing to me, because you can see how brainwashed I was if you really watch it. Because I'm like, Scientology believes in communication. And, that was then. I really believed they did. And it was like, these guys are just filming me, and they won't talk to me. And if they do talk to me, the other guy comes and gets them right away and pulls them away. And so it was, but thank you. Thank you for saying that, Cincinnati Diane. Because that was a fun video. Mark and I both agree it was one of our favorites. Because the other one that I love was Mark. Mary DeMoss was chasing around Mark, and he just intentionally kept going around like this. You can look up Mark Bunker and Mary DeMoss, and he's got this do 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 do. He's got this whole like circus music, and he does it, and she's going around it. It's very funny. Anyway, he did some great videos. I think now he's going to be able to post them more, because now he's not the city councilman anymore. So maybe he'll get back and hopefully post some of the videos, because he's got great videos. Great idea. Okay, so let's see. Tori liked going to the movies. Love it. I'd seen a non-Scientology chat about her favorite things to do. Aw. Yeah, I can't remember. That came up recently, right? Someone asked me what were my favorite things anyway. Movies are definitely top on my list. All right, now this is Tori off topic, just for fun. Most handsome classic Hollywood actor. I'm not big on that. I wouldn't be able to tell you. Not because I don't know them. I don't know their names. I really don't. I'm just awful with names, but I love a lot of actors. I do. I love a lot of them. They're some very, very wonderful actors here in this area. But it's hard for me to think of who would be my favorite. Hey, lovely chatters. There are any topics you'd like me to cover? Yeah, so mention that if you do. That's a good one. Here's a question. All right. Do they cancel taxis, plane cancels, block you with their bodies? And can't they lock you up if you become psychotic? Or if CFS claims you are? Now, here's the thing. I'm very careful to say things about this because people spread it like mad, just like they think everyone's in the Sea Org. They're not. Most people are public. Some people are in the Sea Org, but you hear a lot about it from the Sea Org. There's very few people public speaking out. So, do they cancel taxis? Not that I know of. Never happened to me. They canceled my van going to the airport. An anonymous person did, but I'm sure it was OSA. And yeah, they did cancel that. Um, the plane fight, the plane was canceled. Now, whether Scientology and John Travolta were able to cancel it, or that could have been just an accident, but it was a very coincidental coincidence if it was. Coinky dink. Do they block you with their bodies? Not that I know of, no. And can't they lock you up if you become psychotic? Yep, that's what they did to Lisa McPherson per them. But I knew that when I left. That's why I said, when Harold said, we need to go on a vacation in Chicago, I was like, no, we don't need to go on a vacation. And because I knew a vacation, he didn't know it because they never could include him into anything on the dark side. So he didn't know that a vacation meant lock her up in a cabin in Wisconsin and we're going to do whatever they do. I don't know. I never was in on that. But I know that they did lock people up. Not many, a very small percentage, but they did. And or if the CFS claims you are, they can't just claim you're psychotic. They can't. I mean, first of all, you've got to remember there's public and staff. I mean, Sea Org and public. And the public, we have a lot of friends and husbands and, family and stuff like that. So they can't just dive in and do stuff. That's why when I left, I know Yachty came in and stripped down my house. It wasn't the OSA because Harold wouldn't let him in. I know him. He wouldn't. He'd be like, no, get out of here. But Yachty was our best friend. So he was probably like, we got to do a couple of things here. And he always had his reasoning that made it, he knew our cases. He was our auditor. So he knew what worked and what wouldn't work. All right, here's another question. What questions haven't you been asked that you wish you'd been asked? Wow, that's a good question. But honestly, I don't know. I think I've been asked a million different questions. So what haven't I been asked? I can't think of anything that I haven't been asked that I wish I had asked. If I haven't, I've talked about it. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I started my YouTube site. It was like, all right, if I think of something, I'm going to tell them about it. And I've made a lot of videos about a lot of different things because nobody asked me about it. But I thought about it and I thought somebody should know about this. Criminon, Narcanon, Way to Happiness, Applied Scholastics, the Nation of Islam, all kinds of shit, volunteers, all these things. I made videos about them because I wanted people to know, wait a minute, these are just front groups for Scientology. All right, the IAS is a war chest. Exactly. That's 100% correct. Oh, okay. This person, gee, you didn't know that the IAS was different from benign reg? Yeah. That's 100%. I mean, the IAS is just a money war chest, like she said. And the bridge, you're paying for auditing and training, that kind of thing. Or put it on account so you'll have it for the future. Don't ever do that. If you're listening to me and you're in Scientology, don't ever give them a dime. Because if you leave, which you will never, ever get it back. Ever. Now, I got my money back, but it was just because I was very sharp right at the beginning when I got out. And a couple of other friends were sharp. And they got some of their money back. I got my IAS money. I said, Greg Barnes taught me that. I said, how did you do that? He said, I just wrote him a letter and said, you didn't keep your agreements. I said, all right, I'll do it. I sat down, wrote a letter. You didn't keep your agreement because they didn't. They made up all these lies about what they were doing with it. And they sent me a check. Yeah, it was like, all right. So there was that. And then I had OT8. I got that back. And then I had the briefing course I had paid for years. And someone actually had given it to me. I was trying to repay it. Her thing was, instead of paying me, just rebuy the briefing course. So I rebought the briefing course. They had it. But by the time I got to do it, they were in the golden age of tech memorization shit. And I was like, forget it. This is not going to work. So then I wake up and leave. And I wrote him a letter and I said, I'm actually crying writing this letter because this is why I got in Scientology, to be an auditor. That's all I wanted to do. And now here I am asking for my money back. I felt so sad. It was just like, it was such a, one of those things where it's like so hopeful. And then it just was like, not happening. Miscavige really fucked up a lot of stuff. Not that it was right with Hubbard. It wasn't, but it was better, I think. Let's see. What is this? Wasn't there a mid-'80s uniform where they had a cape with a purple lining? Gotta say, pretty cool and crazy way. Not that I know of. I don't know of that. It might have been a thing for a band or something like that. The weirdest uniform thing I've ever seen was the thing with Heber. Heber Jens was the president of the church. Larry Wallersheim was suing the church, and he was wearing a like a baby blue minister's outfit with the Sea Org patch and gold embroidery and Sea Org symbols on his collar, right? And he had horrible press. I mean, just horrible. And, so OSA came up to me and they said, look, we got to do something. I mean, something's really going wrong with Heber and we got to find out what it is. Will you go around and survey people downtown? And I said, yeah, sure. So I get my little clipboard and I'm like, these are business people. And I'm like, excuse me, can I ask you a couple of questions? And they go, yeah, sure. And I go, okay, I need to show you a picture. And then I'm going to ask you 3 questions. And they go, okay, and here's the picture. And I show them the picture of Heber in his baby blue minister's outfit, right? With the gold, these gold things, and the gold patch was right here. And I'd say, what's your first impression of this person? And the first guy I interviewed said, it's a con man. And I just burst out laughing. It's like, he's the president of the Church of Scientology, right? And it's like, he's a con man. So then I said, okay, and what kind of activities do you think he'd be doing? And this was almost every survey I did. There was something of this variation. He's a con man. What would he be doing? Sitting around a pool, trying to fuck a bunch of babes. It's like, oh my God. And then the third one was, and what exactly makes you think that? What does your attention go to of all of them? And every one of them, it was the Sea Org patch that was on the uniform, on the minister's outfit. And they said, he looks like Avis Rudnikar. That's what I think, or a sorority. It was very funny. I mean, to me, it was really funny. Harold and I sat here in the house and laughed and laughed. I mean, it was just funny. It was. And we turned it in. They immediately changed it from baby blue to all black. That was it. Okay, so I already answered that. I think I answered this here, marriages. Okay, so I think I've answered all of these up above. If not, ask it again. But now I'm down here at the bottom. Let's see. Okay, Cincinnati Diane, you're saying Sarah Robbins. Oh, hello. Love these chats. Aw. I'm 2 hours ahead, but still, it seems like everybody in LA is a night owl, and I'm here for it. All right, the night owls. I have been a night owl all my life. My grandfather was a doctor, and I would say, wake me up. When I was a little kid, I'd say, wake me up. I want to go with you. And he had a little black bag, and, he'd wake me up. He'd say, come on, we're going. And we'd go over to Mrs. So-and-so's house, and none of them had anything really bad. And he would fix them and we'd go home. And I was just like, I love this. So that was the beginning of my night owl days. All right. So, okay. I see the Regine was just begging for donations in any form. Kind of. I mean, it isn't really begging because they very much insist. It's not begging, it's insisting. And it really makes you feel like, okay, we need more lights. There you go. That's love it. We need more likes on this video. That's right. I don't see where the likes are, so I don't know quite how that works. But if you haven't liked it, please like it. And if you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. Okay. Now what is this? That's messed up. They only left your sweetener and pushed back so you couldn't reach it. That's true, but that isn't about this video. So that's from another video when I came back. That's from my escape story. You're right. It was a screwed up thing. But for anybody that's new here, that was a thing where I came home and my husband and probably Bill Yachty had stripped my house of everything. And I even found my sweetener way in the back of a cabinet. It was gross. It really was. Okay, let's look at this. Tory puts the TRs in, keeping one's TRs in. Good one. That's cute. Hello again, Roxy. Hi. Cincinnati. Okay. Yeah, we said that one. Okay. You said that one. The most handsome. If you guys think of the most handsome guy in Hollywood, then you post it on the bottom because I'm not good at it. But they do cancel taxes. Okay, yeah. So we did that. All right. So if anybody has a question, wait, here's one. No, I already answered that. They physically grab you and stuff. No, they don't. They don't even kiss. That's a cute one. They don't even kiss. Thank you for answering. I've always wondered, but the tired of virginity part is hard to ask. Tired of virginity? What does that mean, tired of virginity? Oh, because they're tired of virginity. It's hard to ask. Yeah, I understand, but it is. I mean, let's face it, sex is a big thing. And then sex for a teenager is a really big thing. And then you sign this thing thinking, I'm going to help mankind, right? I mean, this is a true story from Flag. I was a trained security checker, right? And I'm at Flag, and they have me security checking the teenage boys that are Commodore's messengers, right? They're these very serious guys. When you see them in uniform, and everyone has to salute for them, and it's very, very serious, right? So now I have them in session, and they're like, it takes like an hour to get the withhold off. A withhold is something you don't want to say that you feel is not right, not good, something you shouldn't say, right? And that it's something you did that you're withholding. And so it took me about an hour, but always the end of the hour was, okay, they jerked off. And this happened, and these guys are in bunks like this, 1, 2, and 3, maybe 4, right? And they all have the same withhold, which is they jerked off. So I finally go up to Qual at Flag and I say, look, you guys already asked, do you have enough to eat before session? Have you had enough to sleep before session? Why don't you just add in, did you masturbate? Because it's a natural thing. And then we don't have to waste an hour of time every day with these younger people to get off their withhold that all of them are doing anyway, right? I thought it was a good idea. They said, no, get out of here. They probably went home and had masturbated, but whatever. Anyway. All right, let's see. Whoa, not even a kiss. Okay, we already said that. All right, now this is Australia, South Korea, Ireland, Tory. We have the United SP nations are here. I love that. That is wonderful. I really do. I love the international part of it. It's really cool. And I love that there's people from all these different states too. Hi, Magoo, and everyone from here in Ireland. You got to let us know what state you're from too, if you're from a different state than California. All right, wait, get out. Okay, wait, I'm going up just to see if I missed anything. I don't think I did. Okay, I think I took that. Purple Groovy. Aw, thank you. Okay, what did Purple Groovy do? Okay, do you know? No, she's saying to love it. Do you know that you're a mod extraordinaire? I agree she is. She is really wonderful. So thank you for mentioning that. And I think I'm at the bottom. It said show more, but it looks like, let me go up again, and then maybe it'll come up with the show more thing. Oh, wait, there's something I don't think. No, I think I showed this off topic. Yeah, you already asked me that. Nope, I think that's it. Does anybody have a question that they want to ask or a topic they want me to talk about? Much love from Canada. Did you ever see Freemason's apron on any of them? No. Why would I see Freemasons? That's not part of Scientology at all. Although I think Jeff, Karen's husband, I think he wrote a book about the Freemasons because he was in the Freemasons, but no, Scientologists are not. You're not allowed to. It's another practice. That's a high crime. Okay, here we go. New comments. All right, let's see. Tori, you're so great at doing these interactive chats. I really admire you, and I'm so happy to see you here regularly again. Ah, thank you. Thank you so much. And especially thank you for making that little thing about my throwing the phone. You've got to post that here sometime because I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to post it here. But it's funny. She made this, I don't know, what do you call it? Where, she made a little thing showing me throwing the phone. Maybe some of you guys weren't here when I threw the phone, but it kept ringing. It was like DOA was trying to interview me, and no one ever calls me. But of course, whenever I'm doing one thing, then everyone in the world has to call, and that's what happened. It was like ring, 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 and I finally took the phone. And then she made a really funny thing about it. It was really funny. I heard Scientology doesn't believe in religion. Okay. Good. I don't know that that's true. I think different individuals believe in religion, but not really. Hubbard didn't for sure. He was against churches, Jesus Christ, God, angels. He was against anything religious, really. Okay. And an animated GIF. That's right. That's what it's called. Um, oh wait, Florida here. What happened to the guy you nearly brought to tears in the protest in front of the Boston Org years ago? Oh, you were there with Bob Minton. He felt bad for. I felt bad for that guy. Me too. But you know what? It's like every person has a choice in your life, and I really truly tried to talk to him and get to him, and I did. But would he come and really come with us? He could have come with us that day. We would have taken him. But, he didn't. So I know it was sad. Okay, Bev, I get it. And maybe they're in it. I'm just saying they're not in it overtly. If they're in it covertly, that's a different thing. But they're not overtly. Okay. Josiah the God 333. Yeah. DOA just did an interview with him yesterday. It was really good. I listened to it. It was really surprising. It was like, wow, that guy's been through a lot. He's a young kid. He's 21, and it's kind of amazing. They've arrested him twice, and I'm not going to go into the Denver thing again because no one will send me the link, and I can't seem to find it. So if anybody has the link, send me the link. Please leave words of encouragement for Josiah. Okay, let me post this. Yeah, that would be a good idea. If you can do that, CFS has been messing with him and he's very down. Okay, good to know. So let me copy that. I don't know how to do that. It won't let me copy it. Well, I don't know how you. Well, I'll have to ask you. Can you send it to me? Just text it to me. I gave DOA my phone number to give to Josiah last night. I really want him to flourish. He is talented. Okay, good, 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 good. After the interview, he did a live stream from the bus, and he is not good. Oh, I don't know how to get in touch with him. I really don't. Yes, I go to Hollywood to protest every once in a while. Okay, good. I don't know how to get in touch with him. That's the thing. The chatters can follow the link I put. Uh-oh. What's this? No. Not talking to him. No. Hang on. No. I already just talked to that guy for about an hour. And that's that. I will talk to you, love it, afterwards and sort this thing out. But anyway, how do I find your channel? Oh, okay. So they're sharing channels. Okay. All right. You just emailed the link to the Denver arrest. Thank you, Chi. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So I'll look for it. Okay, good. Well, I think that's it, guys. Unless see if you can send something to Josiah. That would be good. Yeah, he was at the beach last night with DOA. So I think he's better, but he definitely, when you're that young, that's rough to go through that much stuff that he's gone through. So we'll all write him. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for posting that. Love it. And I love all of you. Please like this video if you haven't. I think you have. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And that's it. It's Magoo After Dark. There you go. Thank you for coming, and thank you for coming on. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you. Good night, Sarah. Good night, love it. Cincinnati Diane, you are welcome. MK, good night. It's like, good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. They used to say that when we were little kids. All right, lovely to see you, Chester Cat. Thank you. Have a lovely night. Swedish Lena. I hope I'm saying it right. Sweet dreams to all the night owls. All right, good. So you guys have a wonderful night, and thank you for coming. Again, I greatly appreciate it. I love our little midnight chats. They're really fun. All right, night, Roxy. All right. I think that's it. You're saying it right. Oh, good. Swedish Lena. All right, good. Okay, well, enjoy Sweden and every other country that's been on here and every other state and each other. All right. Peace out.